Hey, welcome back to Vox Terra. Today from WBUR News, May 18th of 2022, in Maine, nearly 90% of moose calves tracked by the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife died of anemia or blood loss because they had so many ticks latched onto them, sucking their blood. Well, this story is not only a tragedy for those moose, it's a tragedy for humanity as well. It's the tale of poor environmental stewardship, fossil fuel-initiated global warming, and the age-old defense of established industries over less polluting alternatives. Shorter, warmer winters, and to be fair, in some areas denser moose population, have created a climate that has enabled the proliferation of what this article is calling winter or moose ticks. They've exploded throughout Maine, New Hampshire, Minnesota, and southern Canada. And in the past, consistently cold winters of yesteryear would keep those tick populations down. Now, interestingly, according to this article, these winter or moose ticks, they said they're unlike dog and deer ticks in that their larvae of these ticks hunt in packs. It's a technique they call questing. The larvae gather in these large interlocking clumps on vegetation, and when one snags a passing prey, hundreds or thousands jump on for the ride. And as the article points out, a solid winter cold snap would kill much of those larvae and stop that questing hunt. But snow has been arriving later across much of northern New England. And now, according to this article, it's not uncommon for hunters or biologists to come across moose infested with 40, 75, or even 90,000 ticks. Some of these infested moose trying to rub themselves against trees to get the ticks off, rub almost all their fur off in a phenomena they call ghost moose. Now, many of the adult moose, or cows they call them, can survive these assaults, but the blood loss is too much for calves. And think about that as we get deeper into climate change. The vulnerable, the weak, the old, the young, very young, are most at risk. The article features a photograph of a dead moose, an adult, who apparently died April 26 of 2022, or at least that's when the photo is credited. Moose number 59, she's got that number because she was tagged with a radio collar back in winter of 2014. Now, pretty much quoting from the article, the moose showed signs of anemia, meaning she had been fed on by ticks, had extreme blood loss. The moose died for about 4 days, yet the carcass was literally crawling with big brown ticks. Before collapsing, she might have been covered with 50,000 to 90,000 winter ticks. Scores of parasites still attached, grotesquely engorged to the size of large raisins. And one of the reasons she couldn't make it is because she was pregnant, so both her and her calf died. Well, one lesson I hope you learn out of this is that the unwitting or witting defenders of business as usual like to say, oh, these alarmists try to blame everything on climate change. But you know what? A heating planet changes everything. A heating planet created the conditions for this explosion in these moose ticks. I've cited to the CDC that the warmer winters have created the condition for tick-borne diseases for humans as well, help the spread of Lymes disease-bearing ticks. The warmer winters have also changed the patterns for mosquito-borne diseases and have benefited the western bark beetle, which is now infesting and damaging many trees out west, making them more susceptible to the climate change-driven wildfires. Well, another thing dismissers like to say is, oh, what about jobs? We can't worry about these moose. I heard Marco Rubio, when he was running for the presidential nomination in the Republican Party, speaking in Maine, maybe at a debate or a town forum, reply to as a hunter or a woodsman who said something like, what are you going to do about global warming? We got all these moose dying here. And Rubio, from what I remember, dismissed it, saying, hey, I feel for those moose, but you know what? We got people need to earn a living from fossil fuels, I believe. Well, it's never been about jobs versus the environment. It's always been about what kind of jobs. Are you going to employ people in wind turbines and solar, or are you going to employ them burning fossil fuels? Are you going to employ them spraying pesticides or doing organic farming? So the media is not very interested in exposing campaign contributions. So whatever money Marco Rubio or any politician talking about jobs is getting from fossil fuel interests, it's not being highlighted for you. But not just that, it shows a real lack of imagination and vision, in my opinion. If you have an economic system that is undermining our very ability to live off of nature, which is the only thing we really live off of, we live off of the land. That's the only real economy. The water, the soil, the food. That's what's real. And if this system is undermining that by pumping the biosphere full of greenhouse gases, carcinogens, and toxins, then you don't call to defend those industries. You say system change, not climate change. Well, I hope you found this useful, interesting, somewhat entertaining. Please make sure you're subscribed. You click the notification bell, you're liking, you're commenting, you're donating a Patreon. And until next time, and as always, peace be with you.